Hey guys, Papa D here with Papa D's Range Time, coming to you on a beautiful day here in South Louisiana. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about 22 long rifle handguns. We've got the Glock 44, Glock with the Advantage Arms conversion kits on them in a 26 and a 17 frame. We've got the Smith & Wesson SP22 Compact, and then we have the Taurus TX22. All of these guns are viable training alternatives. I've had many people ask me about that, whether a 22 can be used as training. And some of these have advantages and disadvantages. And we'll take and go over some of these things, and I'll give you my opinion on what they are. So as far as training, I find that any type of gun, even this airsoft gun that you can get at Walmart for about 20 bucks, and being able to focus, pull the trigger back. Now, this thing has a 12-pound trigger on it, and if you can take and train the muscles, train the finger and all of the joints and everything else to align correctly, get a good grip, purchase, and be able to pull that trigger straight back without moving the sights, I find that's an excellent way to take and train. So anything can be used as training. People also talk about modifications on guns and some of the stuff that they ought to do. The first thing that I always recommend is get more magazines. You need to be able to, in a training exercise, be able to swap out magazines and be able to continue with the drills. Staying consistent in a strict regiment is always a strong way of doing that. In training, I use these Pitbull tactical magazine holders, and the advantage of these is I don't have to buy specific brand magazines for each one of these guns. The disadvantage is, particularly on the Smith & Wesson SP22 Compact, it's going to be a little loose in there. But everything else fits nice and snug and holds it in place. And with these on my side, I can take and put whatever magazine I want in it, and I can switch from gun to gun, not have to worry about getting another mag holder. So let's start with the MP22 Compact. My wife carries the Smith & Wesson Shield. All of these guns have been safety checked. They are unloaded. There's nobody behind the camera. It's just me and the camera out here on the range. And the Smith & Wesson MP Shield is what my wife carries. And again, 9mm is hard to find and getting more and more expensive. So as an alternative to training, we use the MP22 Compact. It is not an exact replica of the Shield, but it is very close from the standpoint of the width, the grip, and the purchase of the gun. It's pretty close to the Shield, and with that she can take and load up several magazines, come out here, load the gun, and have some practice sessions. It's more about getting the grip, the fundamentals, trigger press, sight alignment, and being able to acquire your target and hit what you're aiming at. So the 22 Compact, what I really like about it, it functions extremely well with standard velocity ammo. The 1070 feet per second ammo does extremely well in this gun. It does well with the Remington 1350, I believe it is. Might be 1325 feet per second. It does fine with that, but in her defense, I'm trying to give her as little recoil as possible and get rounds on target, so she can take and load these magazines very easily with the load slide that's on the magazine, so where she can take and drop them in. She has problems with her wrists and thumbs, and it causes problems whenever she is trying to load. So that's a big benefit. There's also speed loaders that come with this, and it's a plastic piece that goes over this, gives her even more purchase on the magazine to hold that down and be able to load it. And then as far as racking the slide, it's a whole lot easier than the regular Shield in 9mm, because that's a tight one. I have not compared it to the Shield EZ yet. Just have not made that purchase. Right now I really don't see a need for making the purchase, because we're able to take and train with the 22 long rifle in this particular gun. The magazines are limited to 10 rounds each. That's to me a disadvantage, because some of the drills that we run are 15-round drills, but at the same time you practice and learn a reload, which is also very important coming out of the magazine, acquiring your the mag without a mag well, being able to get the mag in without looking at it and getting back on target. So a friend of mine loaned me his Taurus TX22. I have not shot this gun at this particular time. He has a red dot on it. This is the advanced optics. It's actually a green dot. Advanced optics green dot on this, and I'm looking forward to shooting it. As far as the feel of the gun, I really like it. I can get a good purchase on it, and I can get a good feel on it as far as how it takes and comes up. I'm kind of anxious to find out how the red dot or green dot is going to be sighted in and help me acquire targets. I know the dots that I have on my other guns really aid me. Older eyes, glasses, things like that, I'm able to take and get on target pretty quick. I'm able to find the dots in those really quickly, and I'm hoping I can take and do the same thing on this particular gun. Now what I like about this is the magazines hold 16 rounds. So you're not limited to 10, you can take and put 16 rounds in these things, so you can really take and get some good practice time in with these. So I'm anxious to find out how that gun is going to do. So we're going to go to the Glock 44. My advantage of the Glock 44 in 22 long rifle is it fits all of my holsters for my 19, which is one of my daily carry guns. So the 19 I do train with a lot. It does have a red dot on it, but I also do have a slide that has just the standard Glock 3-dot sights on it. And with the Glock 44 fitting my holsters, I'm able to put my holster on my side and come out from a concealed carry position and acquire targets and get rounds on target. The magazines are limited to 10 rounds, but they do have an easy load magazine, so where I can hold this down, I can take and get the rounds in. This particular gun, I had a video earlier on the Glock 44 where I was shooting the standard velocity 1070 feet per second, and on the first round out of the magazine it didn't cycle the slide. After I cycled the slide there, the other 9 rounds were just fine. Now on the 1325 feet per second, I had no problems with it. Now I don't know whether I'm going to attribute that to ammunition, to gun being tight, tight magazines, but I've run a lot more rounds through that particular gun, and I have not gone back to the 1070, so I'm really curious how that's going to take and work out, whether they've loosened up enough or the gun has worn in enough in order to give me a more reliable with a lower feet per second velocity ammo. And then last but not least, we have the Advantage Arms conversions. I have 2 of them. I have one on the 17 frame, and I like this particular frame because my Glock 34 has the same frame as this, and I'm able to take and run a lot of rounds. However, this one's a little more finicky. I attribute it to the heavier slide, and with the ammo, if I am on target and if I'm transitioning to another target, and if I'm pulling back off the target just slightly, transitioning or running to another target, I'm taking enough energy away from this and it will take a stovepipe. So I have to make sure that I complete the shot all the way through, and once it cycles, then I can take and pull off and go. The other problem I had with this is the original sights were 6 inches off at 15 yards, and I had to get a taller front sight and had to do different things. I went through a series of sights in order to try to find the combination that I'm looking for. Accuracy. The slide is aluminum, and I do have a rear sight pusher for this, but just the idea of taking it on and off, it made the dovetail a little bit loose. So I had to go with a rear sight that had a set screw in it in order to make it tight. And even that is not perfect. It's not sitting exactly the way I like it. I still run this gun, but not nearly as much as the other ones. Now, the Advantage arms for the 26 frame says LE2627. Had very little issues with this. These are the standard sights that came with it, and I've been able to take and run a lot of rounds with this particular gun. The frame that I have for this, the upper slide that I have for this frame is the Glock 39, which is in 45 gap. So that's one of my carry guns that I have, and whether I carry it in appendix or at 4 o'clock position, it's a gun that I have to train with. The 39 is not necessarily a fun gun to shoot. It has a lot more recoil, and you don't get as much of a purchase on it with your fingers hanging off. I do have other magazines that will take and give me the full purchase, but I carry this gun with the standard 6-round magazine flush mount, so it's really concealable. But then I also keep a full 10-round magazine as my backup in my pocket on my tactical pants. So the Glock 39 is a good gun. It's just not what I would consider a fun gun to shoot out on the range. It's not one that I'd take and run 200, 250 rounds through just in a range session. I will make sure that I'm proficient with it and can hit what I'm aiming at, but if I'm going rounds like that, I'll have my Glock 34 or my 19 rather than this particular gun. Also, the 45 gap ammo is a little more pricey. Right now it's probably more available than the 45 ACP, but it's something that is out there that I really I believe in the round. The ballistics are great. Anyway, getting off target and off subject here. Now, one of the things I really like about the Advantage Arms, and I've had these kits for more than 5 years, I've run a lot of rounds through it. You have your standard 10-round magazine, slightly longer. You have a 15-round magazine, and then if you want to get serious, you have your 25-round magazine. I have loaded 20 rounds in these and run drills with them, and they drop free, which is very important for me on any of these guns. I need to know that whenever I hit the mag release, that it is going to drop free so that I can take and do a quick reload. I don't want to have to take and hold the magazine, release, pull the magazine out, then grab. It's just too much time. So I have had problems in the past with some Glock magazines on certain Glocks, and I've taken a piece of 600 grit sandpaper, lightly buffed them, and a little bit of silicone spray and a silicone rag works wonders on this, and the silicone rag on the inside of the mag well does a great job. But guys, from the standpoint of these guns, everything is a training tool. Watching YouTube videos, watching how other people train, some of the drills that they go through. One of the drills that I'm going to do in classes, I generally try to take and do a chaos drill. The gentleman that came up with the chaos drill puts 5 targets all in a line, and you shoot the first target, second, first third, first fourth, first fifth, first fourth, first third, first second, first, in order to have a 15-shot drill. Excellent drill for getting started. Then I put an 8-inch plate here because the kill zone and the trauma is more in the upper chest rather than an A zone all the way down on a standard USPSA target. So I've taken that drill and modified it, and I call it the Mix It Up. On the Mix It Up, I have the same pattern, but the targets are in a V. So your first target is to the all the way back. You have 2, 3, 4, and 5 set up at different distances, so where you have more movement in both directions, and it helps with training to be able to get your eyes on target and bring your gun to your eyes. It's very important for speed and accuracy. It's hard to do. We want to take and swing the gun, but whenever you have even a small gun out here and you're swinging, you're going to overshoot. Where if you take and bring the gun to your eyes, it takes and works a whole lot better, and it's hard to take and train that way, but that is a more correct way of doing it. But I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to change things up a little bit. We'll get some of these guns loaded up, and we're going to take and try a few drills in them. But and I'll see how they do. I'm really interested in shooting some rounds in the Taurus TX22, finding out how it does. Guys, thank you for watching, and I do appreciate it. This is Papa D from South Louisiana, and I'm going to see you down the road on the next video.